So here's why I think Rocky 3 was the best Rocky movie of all time. Because that movie still relates to today's combat sports, boxing, pro wrestling, UFC. That movie still relates to all combat sports. And here's why. When it came to Rocky, Rocky lost his edge. He lost his focus. Rocky went Hollywood and he let his money go to his head. That sounds like a lot of boxers and a lot of guys in the UFC. There's a lot of combat athletes that eventually lose their edge. Once they get rich, once they get famous, once they get tons of power, they tend to lose their edge, and that affects their matches, that affects their fights. Same thing that happened to Rocky. Once Rocky started doing TV shows, he had magazines, he had his own freaking game, he had freaking pinball machines, he had his own fancy gym, he had commercials, endorsements. He went Hollywood, which means he lost his edge. To me, that sounds like Conor McGregor. That sounds like Ronda Rousey. That sounds like Mike Tyson. Tons of combat athletes have turned into Rocky when it comes to going Hollywood and losing your edge on trying to be the best. Rocky lost his edge on trying to be the best. He forgot where he came from. There's a lot of boxers and guys in the UFC who have gone that route. So I feel like that movie really relates still to this day to what we see today in combat sports, right? Now, I think Clubber Lang is the best Rocky villain of all time, based on the fact that he's the one who found Rocky's edge. He was the one who smacked him back into reality. Like, I hate when people say he wasn't a true villain. Nah, man, he was a true villain. Like, what did Clubber have to do to prove to you that he was a villain? Like, obviously, he was a villain. All the trash talking, dog. He was flirting with his wife in front of hundreds of people. So yes, Clubber Lang was a true villain. Like, he was an asshole. It's like, yes, he was a true villain. Like, I know everything he said was facts, but that still makes him a villain based on how the way he was acting. It's like, it got to a point where I think he hated Creed more than Rocky. Look back at that movie. It feels like he hated Apollo Creed more than Rocky, which was freaking hilarious. It's like, dude, on 3 occasions, he said some of the most heinous things about Creed, more than Rocky. I'm like, bro, I would have loved to have seen those guys fight. Like, they had their beef was so hilarious. It's like, he did not like Creed. He did not like Creed. Like, to his face on like, dog, he had an interview talking trash about Creed. Then on 2 occasions to his face, he was talking trash to him. It's like, he did not respect Apollo Creed more than Rocky, actually. He did not respect him. It's like, dude, he was a villain. And actually, you can make an argument that he was kind of responsible for killing Mickey, right? Listen, if Clubber Lang never got into an altercation with Rocky before their first fight, you can make an argument that Mickey would still be alive. So, what makes you think Clubber was not a villain? he helped kill Mickey, but nobody talks about that. He accidentally helped kill Mickey. If you look back in hindsight, it's like this dude was a true villain. Like, he gave zero fucks. He gave zero fucks. That's why I think he was the best villain. It was not Drago. Drago, dog, he could barely speak English. So how was he the biggest villain? His stuff came from in the ring. When it came to Clubber Lang, his stuff came from outside the ring, inside the ring. He was a villain out through the whole movie. Drago had handlers that were doing the talking for him. So how was he a real true villain? It's like, yeah, he was strong and powerful. All right. But he was not a bigger villain than Lang. Lang was a true villain from start to finish. Drago could barely speak English, so how the hell was he a villain? I mean, what trash talking was he saying? Right? So I figured, look, Clubber Lang was the best overall villain when it came to death. Because he was the best trash talker, he was funny, he was hilarious, but he was very, very ruthless. He didn't care. He hated Rocky's whole crew. Mickey, Apollo. That dude hated their whole crew. I mean, dude, he tried to sleep with his wife. It's like, yes, okay, Drago killed Apollo. But in hindsight, Drago was just doing his job. It's like, yeah, he was powerful, but look, at the end of the day, Rocky did not throw in that towel. So he did what every boxer is trying to do. Box all the way to the bell rings. Right? I feel like Drago, he did his job, which was beat your opponent. He just strong as hell. That's all. But I don't think he was a bigger villain than Lang. He was not a bigger villain than Clubber Lang. Clubber Lang was the total package. He was an asshole, bruh. Drago was not an asshole. I feel like his wife was an ass. Look, his wife was a bigger villain than he was. Let that sink in. So, to make a long story short, Rocky 3 was the best Rocky out of all the movies he had. Based on that movie still relates to real life. Out of all the Rocky movies, that movie, Rocky 3, it relates to real life. That's why it was the best ever movie in their franchise. All right, I'm done.